Hi guys. So one thing that I've noticed through the usage of the method um, and the song named Hard by Rihanna is that majority of this song is about her fame and her wealth and how she's at her highest point in her career and overall her life. And you know that through the listing of all the material objects that she has, which indicates her wealth. So just her Maybach, her Mercedes brand car, um, all the money that she has. She doesn't indicate an account, but she tells you that she, all her wealth through the cars, her clothing, um, you know, and also through the line that says she's living on the sky ends, which means she is at her highest point. The sky is the highest level of Earth. So she is at a very high peak in her career. And so she's doing very well. But going deeper into my analysis and really touching upon any of the words that she uses, I've noticed that there's more to just her fame and her wealth and just her how well she's doing right now at that time, I mean. So with the quote that I've noticed that she made was, see my Lewis tux, Lewis flag, Lewis flame, Lewis belt, what that made make me Lewis Mane. It confused me, the amount of the alliteration of Lewis. And then when I searched upon it, at the time, there was this rapper who was also reaching the same fame as her at the time, and she was constantly being compared to him. His name is Gucci Mane. And because of the amount of comparison, she makes a rhetorical question. What that make me Lewis Man? So with that rhetorical question, she's saying, well, just because we have the same materialistic items, just because we have the same skills and the same music career, it doesn't mean that I am just like him. So don't compare me to him. And also, it goes beyond the just artistic level. It also goes into a political and even historical level. And I noticed this when I go past the quote, go hard or go home, back to your residence. And the strands of go home and back to your residence are both racist slurs that people use when they come across someone who is an immigrant. So racism is very much written in this song, and it connects to the fact of the political issue in this country, because she then mentions, soon the red dogs will give the block back to the presidents. I used to run my own block like Obama did. So just like when I saw the referencing from the video that I saw of Sam, she mentioned that red indicates the color of the Republican, and Obama is the president, is a Democratic president. And having that political connection between Obama and red, it shows you a difference of how she feels comfortable in, because she mentions how her own president, Obama, which means that the president before Obama, which I searched up was George W. Bush, didn't make her people, in a sense, not to be racist or anything, but people of her community feel safe. So with this said, And after searching up that George Bush was the previous president before Obama, I found out that through NBC that the years of Bush's presidency had an enormous crime stance on those of colored skin, especially in the year of 1988, which was the year that Rihanna was born. Hence why she may say in the next line, "If you don't believe me about this, then ask my mom," because she was there living at that time. Since she was born in 1988, she was a newborn. No, she really didn't live during that time, but her mom did. And then it mentions the legal uses, and which I'm kind of connecting to what Sam said. Kilo and casinos are both connected to the act of selling, and an act to make prophecy. And if you are selling a bag of kilo, it usually indicates that you are selling a kilo or bag of drugs. And when you play the cards of casino games for money, that's gambling, and both are illegal. So since they're both mentioned after Obama, which is a black president, and after the black mentioning of a black community, it mentions that they, meaning the white community, since I'm making a connection between George Bush, who's a white Republican, and Obama, who's a black Democratic. Rihanna mentions that they are peeping through her bag, which is more expensive than they can even afford, meaning there is many racial assumptions made against black people when they have wealth in their lives, and they automatically assume that they get their money from either selling drugs or doing illegal acts such as gambling, either both. And then you notice that also in the opposite of how town and block are both being used. Town is used when they're talking about they, which I mentioned is talking about white community, and block is usually mentioned when they're talking about black community, which is where Rihanna comes. Since she's from Barbados, she comes from a black community. So with the elegance of town, it makes it sound as a more educated, more given more resources type place. And it kind of shows that there is a white privilege that white people have, which, makes things harder for black people, because black people aren't as resourced as white, and just because of their when they do get a point at their life that they are wealth, they're questioned and they're automatically targeted for some kind of assumption, and you see that through the anomalies of heart attack, cardiac arrest. They're both connected, but cardiac arrest and cardiac and arrest. And I made the connection that cardiac arrest and heart attack are both indication of heart failure, which, in America, that is the number one sign of death. So in America, due to so many racial injustices, usually black people are more majorly killed, just like a heart attack, because of the racial slurs, racial accusations, and racial injustices from white people or just any other race, because they believe or automatically assume that the watch on their wrist, the gold watch, was done by some illegal act, and therefore their heartbeat stops, meaning they're killed, or they're targeted with something that leads to their death, which isn't their fault at all. And so, yeah, thank you so much. Bye.